Sheeny, thank you for the 10 currency. So what did you slip on to mess up your hand? Oh, the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room. Should we talk about that now? You actually broke a bone? More like dislocated. More like dislocated. The cast was in bed. No, it wasn't. You guys don't see it? Here. Here. A thank you message to everyone who attended the caravan. Ta-da! I kind of fucked up on the K. Nice carpet. That's one of my sweaters. Ta-da! I kind of fucked up writing the K down. It was there was an attempt. But S doesn't look much better. But I think up to that, it looks kind of okay. The nace. How bad did it hurt? Well, I think I have a surprisingly high pain tolerance for these kinds of things. But it still hurt like a bitch. Okay. To those of you who aren't aware, I made a tweet yesterday that was essentially like that mentioned I was in a cast. Okay? And I guess that worried some people. Long story short, I dislocated something. It's fine. I'm seeing a specialist for it on Christmas Eve, which... Total mood kill, guys. But short story long, though... I went to go get a can of Coke Zero. And I slipped in some mud.
What?
Why is there mud in your hole? This happened outside. I stepped out briefly to go get a can of Coke Zero because I was craving it. And I slipped in some mud. It's stupid. I know. This is why not to go outside. No, unironically, this is why you shouldn't go outside. It's stupid. I know. And you know the worst part about it is when I saw it. So I slipped up in some mud, and it was like very like cartoon-esque. Okay, like my feet went up from under me. And I was falling backwards. And my first instinct was to protect my head, like cradle my head, because there was cement. So I was cradling my head, and then boom pop. Boom pop goes my hand. And when I kind of came to, I guess, like when I realized what was going on, I looked down and I saw that certain things weren't bending in the way they were supposed to be bending. And this story gets so much stupider. This story gets a lot dumber, honestly speaking. So there I am, sitting in mud, and I'm looking down, and all I could think about was Kobe Bryant. All I could think about was Kobe Bryant. You know how Kobe dislocated his finger in a Spurs game? Yeah, I thought about that moment, and I went, if Kobe can do it, I can do it. And yeah, I just popped my bones back in, and I went to go get a Coca-Cola. And then as I am ringing up my Coca-Cola, I realized, holy shit, I am in incredible pain right now. But instead of calling an ambulance, like a normal person, right? I just called an Uber to the hospital. I'm just like, yeah, let's just get an Uber. This is an emergency. I'll just go get checked up. Yeah. Yeah, it's cheaper, right? It's cheaper. Smart, actually, ambulances are expensive. I'm Canadian. I'm Canadian. Ambulance is a bit much for a dislocation. See, that was why I was thinking. I was just like, Uber. Well, my fear, because I was also bleeding. I was also bleeding where my joint was. So I was just like, oh shit, I might have like cracked a bone and it might have like splintered out. And I might have just popped that back in without realizing. So I was like, okay, like I do need to go to emergency for this. So yeah, I ended up in emergency that night, like the night before the caravan. Unfortunately, there is a doctor shortage going on right now. There's been a fucking doctor shortage for the last like 3-4 years, let's be real. So wait times are like 5 hours, and they don't give you painkillers. They do not give you painkillers for that. So I'm just like sitting in a fucking emergency waiting room with like a bunch of sick babies and the homeless, and I'm just like fucking bleeding out. They don't even give me anything for the wound, okay? They just like, here's an ice pack. Make sure you keep it on ice every like 5 to 10 minutes. And don't burn yourself. And so I'm just like, Billy D, if I require tetanus shot, I did get a tetanus shot. What? Ow? They didn't even put the tetanus shot in the side that's already injured. They put it in the other side. So I'm like, okay, cool. Now both arms feel fucking useless. But yeah, I was waiting there for a few hours. Eventually I got in for an x-ray. And the guy took like one look at me and went, I don't think you popped it in the right way. Which, fair enough, I'm not a fucking med student. I probably should have thought before I popped it back in. I might actually be worse for wear than if I had just left it hanging out. But in that moment, I just went, Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant. But adrenaline, yeah, honestly, no, that's a thing. I am a actual like adrenaline junkie. Huh? Like I really love roller coasters and stuff because I'm just like, yeah, that's good stuff. That's good shit. So like my adrenaline receptors are all fucked up because I spent like a large part of my 20s just going to like amusement parks and getting like my brain shattered.